Hi, we are Rob and Kathy, and welcome to our channel. Join us for our travels in Australia and beyond. Good morning and welcome to day 9, our last day in Tasmania, home tomorrow. Today it's an early start, as you can see, and we are all well and truly rugged up because we're going to Cradle Mountain, where legend has it it's always freezing cold. I think it's about 1 degree at the moment up there. So back on the bus, and we'll show you all about it when we get there. We boarded our minibus and set off for Cradle Mountain. Our first stop was the town of Sheffield on the northwest coast of Tasmania. Sheffield was first settled in 1859. The area grew slowly, however, but in the 1960s the fourth Power Development Scheme saw the town grow. Upon its completion in 1973, the town began to decline. Sheffield reinvented itself as the town of murals. A small group of residents, inspired by the Canadian town of Chemainus, which had rescued itself with mural art. The first mural was painted in 1963. Since then, over 60 murals depicting the area's history and natural beauty have been painted. Today, the murals attract an estimated 200,000 visitors annually. As we prepared to leave Sheffield, we could see the imposing mountains in the distance. That was where we were heading. Back on the bus, and we started to climb. The scenery became more and more spectacular. Here we stopped for a moment for a photo opportunity on the Forth River. Then the ever-changing vista turned to rainforests. Another photo stop for some more spectacular scenery. And as we approached the mountains, the scenery changed yet again. Then we were given our first real view of the mountains. You can see Cradle Mountain there, right in the middle of the screen. And as we approached, the mountains became more and more imposing. Here again you get a glimpse of Cradle Mountain. The mountains here form a natural amphitheatre, and at their base is Dove Lake. We left the bus and went off to explore. We're just descending down into Dove Lake. And up to the left, the jagged peak you can see there is Cradle Mountain. Moving along the path going to the lookout. This is the lookout over Dove Lake. There's Cradle Mountain. Next. That's the boat shed where we'll be heading next. Making our way now to the boat shed, and you can see the tracks are really good, very accessible if you've got reasonable mobility. Having trouble keeping up with Cook, actually. We're just about at the boat shed, but you probably get a better view from it from just above. And there it is. Cradle Mountain in the background. And this was the view from down at the boat shed. Very serene. And then it was time to bid farewell to Sneffels Yokel and our gateway to the centre of the earth. Well, no, Cradle Mountain really, but it looks the same. Well, we've made it back, and this is the Cradle Mountain Viewing Centre, which offers still more views of the lake and Cradle Mountain up above. Well, that was a really good experience, thoroughly enjoyed it. As I say, good mobility. If you're reasonably able, you can do both those little viewing places in about half an hour. We certainly did. And you rug yourself up, and then you end up taking it all off, because we have got a really phenomenal day to see it all today. It's not usually like this. I think they get about 60 good viewing days a year, and we're lucky enough to have one of them. This was the panoramic view of our stop for lunch. We stopped at a small hut which walkers can use as shelter if the weather gets bad. It was nice, roomy, there was space for a fire. In the hut. But we had to share it with this dude. After lunch we ventured to the wooden hut of Gustav Weindorfer. He was born in Austria in 1874 and arrived in Australia in 1900. He lived in Melbourne and developed an interest in local flora and fauna. Inside the hut are depictions of how Gustav lived and some of the people that were instrumental in his life. In 1909, he visited Cradle Mountain and described it as a veritable El Dorado for botanists. In 1912, he and his wife Kate purchased a large tract of forest land and they built their hut. Over the years, Gustav worked to open the area for the developing tourist trade. He became instrumental in the establishment of the Cradle Mountain National Park to protect this area. Gustav died in May 1932 in a motorcycle accident. I'd just like to touch on the outstanding knowledge and delivery of that knowledge by our tour guide, who was phenomenal, and thank him very much for the experience he gave us. Then all too soon we were back on the bus and making the long drive back to Launceston. But we did have one more stop to make. Well, after a nice little sleep, we've stopped off at the Ashgrove Cheese Factory to see what they have to offer. And here we are. Ashgrove, all the cheese you can eat. We've gone for ice creams, which are very refreshing. And here's a bit of a look around the shop. Look at all that cheese. It just goes on and on. And then we're back at the Best Western. Oh, another big day. Hi, just wrapping up today and indeed the whole trip to Tassie. Today was really good. Thoroughly enjoyed Cradle Mountain, and we were very lucky with the weather. Yeah, some great sights, great pictures as you will have seen. So yeah, a really enjoyable day, and the quality of the guides and their knowledge is astounding, and it really does make the trip. That's been the case through all of our activities while we've been in Tasmania. So well done to all the providers who go out of their way to make every trip you do truly memorable. Really enjoyed Tasmania. A great trip, thoroughly recommend it. Thanks to our travel agent, which was Caitlin from Flight Centre, that's right. And home tomorrow. I won't bore you with the trip home unless something dramatic happens, like I get a window seat. So see you next time.